Leviathan. They started talking to me about Leviathan, so let's look at it. Hello and welcome back to the Metamystic Show. The hawk coming out immediately. Yeah. Eagle. These are my two birds that have to do with seeing something from a higher perspective. So they want to show you something today from a higher perspective. We're going to use the Animal Spirit Oracle today. We're also going to use the Wild Unknown Tarot, both by Kim Kranz. This has to do with a transformation for you. Now, I don't know if it's that this is how I'm seeing it. You're in the midst of a transitional period, and there could be these beasts popping up, like Leviathan, for example. It's like a sea monster, right? And since it's of the sea, it's of the emotional depths. It's kind of like, I remember growing up, I used to go to Lake Winnipesaukee in New Hampshire. And it's actually a very clean lake, but I remember swimming out to the dock so I could lay out there. I remember sometimes I would kind of go down too far and I'd feel that like squiggly, kind of slimy stuff at the bottom of the lake. Yeah, see, the moth is like a butterfly, but it's of the night. Butterflies are like of the day, but the moth, this is what this is talking about here. It's feeling scared of what's at the bottom. What is this bottom going to look like? You know how people talk about like bottoming out or hitting rock bottom. Now, for some of us, we've already gone through this process. We've already transformed and come out the other side, or we've done this before and we're going through yet another transformational period. So take this as it resonates. But I'm seeing a group of people in the midst of a transformational period, and these like monsters are coming out of the water. And Leviathan, I do believe, but this could also be more metaphorical today. We're going to get 4 cards from the animal spirit. Let's see what the animals want to say. Sometimes human verbiage cannot express what happens in the spiritual dimension. So let's guide us through. Let's have the animals guide us through. They want to use animal totems to speak to you at this time. Yeah, the tiger coming out here. Eye of the tiger. Dun, 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 dun. It's kind of like when, an 80s montage, like when the person is getting like ripped in the summertime. See, this whole process, you wonder what it's for. It's for you to train for what's next. Some of you might be hopping like a karmic train here. It's your shadow side. Really what this is integrating the big bad monster here. Because at the end of the day, even if something is outside of us, it's technically just a reflection of what's already within us. Now, I'm not saying, sorry, this is all fingerprinted. It's because I use it a lot. Yeah, I got the rose quartz here. Just gather that. This is all love today. We're doing heart chakra work today. It doesn't mean that every bad thing that's ever happened to you is your fault. What it means is that sometimes when something bad happens to us, I literally heard Colette Baron Reed say this, and I love her, and she's one of my mentors. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are magic outcome cards. She said it on a call the other day. She was talking to somebody who had been told by 2 different psychics that her mother was not her real mother. I think I'm okay to say this, right? Because I'm not giving names. I'm not saying anything. Dolphin. Okay, I think we're good. But basically Colette was like, well, sometimes what happens is, you will get like a message from a psychic. This is an example. And it will kind of go into your subconscious. And so then you'll go to another psychic and they'll pick up on the thought form that was formed from the first thing that wasn't even true to begin with. Now, she wasn't saying it was true or not true. She was just explaining that this can happen. It's a weird phenomenon, because she was like, being psychic, it's not a science. Like, it's a spiritual thing that we're doing today, divination, and I really respect her. So, let's look at these cards. But what I was going to say is, this Leviathan thing, it's a sea monster. It's like the monster that could take you under the water. And I think for some of us, this is analogous to our own emotions. We feel like if we go there, if we go through this transformation, if we connect with our shadow side, if we start finding these old memories that somehow slipped down under the deep depths of the water, and they're down there somewhere with that nasty, slimy stuff. And I don't know, God knows what's down there. Probably a sea monster down there if I try to go procure those things that I once cared about, or aspects of my personality, or, things that I just kind of let go of because it's easier that way, or because I did it out of survival. This transformation that we're going through, it's about finding those pieces of ourselves, and this is where we got to go to get them. Down with the sea monsters. So maybe that's not a comforting message, but I will be your tour guide today. And over here is a wild buffalo. This is a thought form. This Leviathan thing is like a thought form, and it's this is what I'm trying to say. I do believe there's spiritual principalities such as Leviathan and things like that, but I'm not really actually talking about that today, even though I love that sort of stuff. I love talking about it because I'm a 12th house stellium, but I got Mars in the first. And we got to get people out of here. So this is what we're talking about. It's like a thought form. And if things continue to happen to you again and again and again and again, or you continue to, like, say you date the same sort of person again and again and again, that reinforces this monster, this Leviathan, that then if we try to go back and get the soft parts of ourselves that we left in those relationships, or the old dreams that we used to have before somebody said our music was stupid, or, that we knew we were called to be a speaker, but people beat us down so freaking bad that we couldn't even speak anymore to say what I want for dinner. So it's stuff like that. It's things that mean the most to us because they're parts of us, but in order to get those back, we have to face that sea monster. And that's why a lot of us we just don't. But this is the opportunity to face that sea monster and say, that's my stuff, and I'm going to get it back. Card number 1 is the Fox. The Fox, in this deck, it's a good card. In the Lenormand, it can definitely be a negative card. When I see a fox, I look at it. I saw a fox the other day. When I look at a fox, I think of it as a mystical creature. It's almost mythical. It's kind of like a cat and a dog combined. Foxes, it's kind of like you see a fox as an omen and you don't know if it's good or bad. Right? And you could be facing certain situations along your path right now, and you're like, I don't know if that's good or bad. Like, you could feel, I'm seeing the 7 of Cups, and we're going to get tarot, but you could be feeling like, I don't know if I should go this way. Walk this way. Yeah, with the Moth, they're saying walk that way, though. And I'm not saying put yourself in harm's way. I'm saying this is going to be a face your fears sort of a reading, right? And take it with discretion. All of my readings are for entertainment purposes only. But a fox, it's like a teacher. It's kind of like come this way. I want to show you something. And you're kind of like, is that good or bad? Well, you'll have to come to find out. And they'll even kind of play into it. It's kind of like fairies. You kind of don't, they can be good or bad, so to speak, right? So you have to kind of follow this track. It's giving more mischievous to me today, and since it's the yellow, it has to do with the solar plexus, which is like our confidence. They're trying to get you to face, they want you to be like a bull in a china shop and just slam through this and get your stuff back, right? That's what they want. And there is going to be trickery. I'm seeing the Seven of Swords. So we have 2 sevens so far. I've talked about the Seven of Cups, confusion, not knowing which way to go, choices. Should I go with this being that's guiding me down this path or not? And this could be in the form of like a new friend or a new endeavor or a new course of study or a new passion rises up. And you're like, is this a distraction? Is this on my path? Well, sometimes you just have to go to find out. They're not going to tell you. It's like a catch-22. You have to go down the path to then realize if it is good or bad. So, card number 2 is the wolf. Very interesting to have fox and wolf. I guess we're out in the forest today, even though we're talking about sea creatures. Have you ever gotten lost in the forest? A couple years ago, I was hiking on this trail, and I knew this trail like the back of my hand, guys. I had hiked there every day for years. Something happened this one day, and I still to this day don't know what happened. I feel like I got turned around and I went through some sort of weird portal. I know that sounds out there because I am talking about a 3D world experience. I'm not talking about that I was out of my body or I was in the astral realm or any. This is a real experience. Getting lost in the woods is a weird phenomenon because all the trees, they look the same. Right? And I knew this place like the back of my hand, and then it was getting dark. I couldn't find my way back. Then it starts pouring, right? I'm out there with all my electronics, I got my phone, my Apple Watch and everything. I'm trying to like put it all like in my shirt. My shirt is soaking wet, everything. Like, it's like I jumped in a pool, right? I finally, after a long time of like sliding down mud and like not knowing where I was like out of breath. I was so freaked out. It was actually very traumatic. I'm not going to lie. And this is an allegory. And I'm not saying, oh, you're going to be going through trauma. I'm not saying that. This is just the image they're giving me. Eventually, I saw the road. I heard cars. And I slid down the like side of the street, this kind of hill, through all of these prickers, and all these prickers were all like in my clothes, and I was able to get down and out of the woods, right? That Taylor Swift song, Are We Out of the Woods? So we're talking about sea serpents today. We're talking about deep emotions and gathering bits of ourselves back, but this is the interesting part. It's showing up in more of a 3D world, like these are the creatures of the woods. I'm telling a story about how I got literally lost in the woods. This is not a metaphor. I feel like what's going to be happening is the unbelievable, the fantastical, the whimsical, that Piscean, Neptunian stuff that we typically see in the water. This transformation is so strong and it's so life-changing. You will be so unrecognizable at the end of this that the 5D and beyond, 7D, 9D, etc., it's coming down, it's bleeding down into the 3D world reality. You may be having some experiences here. Some would call them paranormal. You might see lights flickering. You may feel like me, that you got turned around strangely, and like you almost feel like you went through some sort of like other dimension. You might have some strange phenomenon. This is what they're saying, though. They do want to be able to use more symbology with you. So if you see, like, say this, for example, you drive past Buffalo Wild Wings, right? It's just a restaurant. But buffalo, that's an animal. If you start seeing things that feel like they have a message inside, it catches your eye, look that up. Look up like the symbolism. Focus more on like animals right now, I'm getting. They're not giving me numbers as much right now. You may be somebody that's seasoned with seeing like animal numbers. When I said seasoned, it made me think of seasoning. Like seasoning, I just grilled last night. Like seasoning, like chicken or burgers or ribs or something like that. They want to add more seasoning to the way that they communicate with you. They want to spice things up a little bit here. If you're somebody that's used to using like angel numbers to speak back and forth with your guides, and you look for numbers because you know your guides speak to you through those, they want to start opening up your horizons a little bit here. They want to start introducing some new things to you. And the wolf, I know that I said that the fox is a teacher, but so is the wolf. And the wolf really travels alone. You could posture yourself as a lone wolf of sorts, even if you do have friends or, you know, you are a social person. It's like on the inside when it comes to the stuff we're talking about today. You could be somebody that keeps it a little bit more low key, you know, because you've walked through the fire and you've gained wisdom from that, and you're not just going to trust anyone again. So that's why when something like this appears and is like, come this way, your initial reaction could be, I've gone a similar direction before, I don't trust you. But this is what I'm getting. Even if you take the wrong door, that's okay. It's worth the risk, because they're showing you something right now. They're trying to reveal to you that even if you do get deceived or you do pick the wrong door or go the wrong way, you're still going to be fine. And it's like a new level of faith, a new level of trust in the universe that you haven't had before. And this has happened to me. It's gone from level to level to level. You know how they say new levels, new devils? Like every time you transform again, every single time, it's always going to be another monster that you face. And this time we're talking about Leviathan. So this could be more of like, this could be about trust issues. For example, you could be used to traveling alone. Card number 3. I'm going to take a sip of coffee while I'm here. Let's just look at this together. This is my Leviathan card, so. What? I feel like that's when you get lip filler. It's like stuck. Why is nothing coming through the straw? Can we observe this coffee? Oh, it's because of the chocolate. Yeah, I drank mochas. Leave me alone. Oh, shit. I don't know why I'm lollygagging on this. Gagging. I'm seeing somebody, like, in the water. Like, feeling like they're going under the water. Are you kidding me? What is wrong with this? I haven't had a sip of coffee yet today. I'm just gonna go get another straw. Why do I feel like I'm sinking to the bottom of the ocean right now as I'm talking and I'm like losing consciousness? I feel like for some people here, there's gonna be a point in this journey that you feel like you're giving up here. But if an anglerfish, you hear the news on this? If an anglerfish, a fish of the deep darkness that's never seen the light of day, can move towards the light and move towards the top of the water, then so can we. I'm gonna go get another straw. Because this is ridiculous. What's wrong with the service in this place? You know what straws always remind me of? Energy vampires. And there are different types. We're good. Okay. There's a method to my madness. We're talking about the sea serpent sort of vampires. Now, they're not called vampires in the sea. It's a little bit of a different phenomenon. It's kind of like... This is the warning. When you start to go there with yourself, see how it's the Ouroboros? It's the snake eating its own tail. And then that always looks like an eye to me in the middle. It's like... It's like when you're waking up from like a dream. But this is a transformational energy where you become something else entirely. And there could be a shock factor here where you start to feel like you're kind of, I'm not trying to scare you guys. This has been my experience. So I'm just going to share honestly from my own experience. I'm not going to lie to people. So, you know, that might make me less popular. When have I ever been popular? When you start doing this work, it's like you're taken under the water and you're looking up at the top of the water. And the sun is shining down and you're reaching for it. And you're like slowly losing consciousness as you sink to the bottom of the sea. And as you're sinking, you're simultaneously transforming. So just as you begin to lose consciousness once and for all, you realize I can breathe. I'm under the water and I can breathe. This is an initiation. This is the lesson. You might think that these energies taking you under the water, so to speak, into the deep depths of your psyche, your subconscious, and your emotions and your traumas, you might initially feel like they're leading you down a deceptive path, and it's actually a bad thing. This is an ego death for some of us, too, where we're going to think that this is a bad thing. But actually... it's making you into a new creature that's able to breathe under the water. Have you ever played Mario? I used to love like the song that they would play when he was under the water. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like the water world scene, and it was like kind of this sprinkly, glittery sounds. It's reminding me of that. Where this is actually, believe it or not, going to become kind of fun, because you're going to realize, like, I'm kind of like invincible. Well, in the spiritual dimension at least. And this is all that sort of thing that I'm talking about. But this is very, like, earthly energy. Like, these are land creatures. Even though, like I said, I feel like the fox is kind of like a mystical. You don't know what you're really getting there. You might feel like you're turning into a werewolf. I'm seeing some of you with like a long scraggly beard. Just because you're like going through this process. Yeah, some of you may find yourself like howling at the moon sort of thing when the full moons come out, especially. Full moons are a great time for releasing things, and we're going to be doing a full moon reading coming up. I read on all the new and full moons. So our next full moon is coming up. Let me look at it. We just had the new moon in Taurus. We have the full moon in Scorpio. Oh boy. That's an interesting one to do this sort of a ritual on. Scorpio will get the job done, trust me. Full moon in Scorpio, May 12th. So, I dropped my wolf card. So yeah, for some of us here, we can use these full moons to speed up this process is what I'm getting. Because this is some heavy stuff, guys. This is not for the faint of heart. This is for people that are ready to get to the next level, and they're ready to face themselves, integrate their shadow, and become a new creature that can breathe under the water. See, at first, we're scared of this Leviathan. We look at it like our enemy, when in fact, this is actually like, you see it in the legends, right? There's so many great legends. There's so many types of mythology that talk about the god or goddess that they eventually become, that they defeat some sort of like beast or monster or something that then in turn makes them this like powerful warrior or god or goddess or what have you here, some sort of deity. That's what I'm getting here. Now, I'm not saying we're becoming deities. This is what I am saying. We're connected to deities. And so we can harness this energy that the deities use. We can connect with it. We can become one with it. We can use it to our advantage to transform instead of being afraid of it. We can actually be like astonished by it and realize the power we have at our fingertips. But not many will take this path. Now, Jesus said it this way. He said the way is narrow, right? And there's only few that find it. So, it's a similar notion where a path is presented, but it's an arduous path. And for a lot of us, it's one that we need to walk alone, because this is about integrating our shadow, going through an ego death, and transforming in the very depths of our soul the places that no one knows about. This is like the stuff that you lay up in bed thinking about from 7th grade that you're still embarrassed about, sort of a thing, you know. It's a lot deeper than that, but card number 4, our magic outcome card, is the dragon. Dude, really? Yeah. I did a reading called You've Been Chosen. This is what we're talking about. This is just like more information, basically. So I would watch that reading if you missed it, if you're interested. You've been chosen for this program here. But we have to go through this process because a lot of us are going to be working under the water and we need to be able to breathe down there. And we can't breathe down there if we don't transform. And if we're not willing to take the risk to do that, we're just not gonna come this way, is all that it's showing. Like, the outcome is this dragon energy. This is an ancient energy. This is like the eye of God that searches the earth for the people that are wanting this sort of a thing, right? So let's get some tarot. I just opened up to the devil. See, you might think that this is like the devil telling you to come this direction, or it's something devilish, but it's not. The sea serpent initiation, this Leviathan initiation, it's like defeating this monster, which really it's not about defeating anything, even though it's going to feel that way. So it requires this sort of like buffalo. See the lightning in the background? It's like the tower. It requires that Mars, kind of scorpionic Mars, is how I see the tower. Yeah, to complete this thing with the world. Like, you're not going to... It's kind of like once you go in, you can't come out, so you have to just, like, be ready. The fox, the wolf, the sea serpent, and the dragon. The Nine of Wands falling out in the reverse on top of the fox with the Seven of Swords. And look, there's a fox on it, see? I forgot that this Seven of Swords had a fox on it. That's cool. Yeah, see, you're going to think that this is, or you're going to wonder that if this is some sort of like deceptive path, deceptive person. Maybe you're even thinking this about me. Like, oh, are her readings like kosher? The Hermit. Being a Virgo with the Judgment. Is she like demonic? Nine of Swords. Some of you might actually be worried about that. No, guys. High Priestess. High Priestess, Seven of Swords, though. So the Nine of Wands in the reverse on the fox. See, this is like a path, but it's like a reverse path. That's why it's trippy. See, it's in the reverse. It's like Alice in Wonderland. You're gonna start walking down this path. It's kind of like a fun house. You're gonna realize you're walking on the ceiling, and you're like, huh? And this could be that under the water phenomenon where you're looking up at the top of the water and you're under the water. There's something trippy about that here. It's like underworld versus overworld, and then the middle world is the 3D dimension that we're living in here on the planet Earth. Where there's something here, when you follow this fox guide down this path, it looks normal at first, right? But then you realize, wait, I'm walking upside down, right? So it could start to feel a little bit trippy, or you could start to like have reactions to things, start remembering things from your past that make you feel, I'm just going to pop a trigger warning on this entire episode, just so people know coming in that there could be some sensitive material that we will be working through. It's not that this reading is triggering. I put trigger warnings on my readings not because of the actual content. Sorry, guys, I gotta get a different eyeliner that doesn't do this crap to my eyes. Like hooded eyes vibes. So yeah, I put trigger warnings because of the energy that these readings can evoke. Not because I think that a bunch of people are pussies and they need a trigger warning. That's not why I do it. I put trigger warnings because of the energy that these readings can evoke. Hong Kong, cool. It's TW, the Trigger Warning Clown here. I'm going to be leading you down this path of interdimensional travel. It's very Alice in Wonderland feeling. It's Neptunian, it's Piscean. Well, it's Sea Serpent. It's Leviathan. It's all the stuff we've been hiding from ourselves. Really, it's just parts of ourselves that we've been hiding from ourselves. That's really all this is. we're so scared to face this monster, and we look it in the eye and we realize we're looking at our own selves. That's why it's trippy. 'Cause we are focusing on the wrong thing sometimes. You can't control other people. You can't control outside situations, but you can control yourself. This sort of stuff is taking your life back, right? Even though it may feel more vulnerable than just staying in the abusive situation, staying with somebody that's lying right to your face and you can see through it because you're intuitive. You know, staying in a situation that you feel uncomfortable, or you feel like there's so much more for you to have even, and you just don't. It's like, why can't I just become more? Like, you know you're capable of it. You know that you're part of a greater consciousness that is here to like change the energy on this planet. You know that you're one with that in some way. And yet you find yourself, some of us we could be struggling for money. Some of us, we could just, be feeling like there's just more out there, or we want to have a farther reach, or we want things to be more successful. This doesn't always have to be like so dark, like an abusive thing. This can just be like, I want more in my life. Why can't I access it? This is the access code. I'm also hearing this is the axis. Yeah, Seven of Swords. What can't we see? Daughter of Swords. Let me take a side trek with those small pocket ones. Yeah, Empress. And let me just ask, I'm gonna take a side road here. This could happen. You're going down the road, you think it's one thing, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, we're gonna go this way. You think you're going towards the waterfall. You hear the sound of the waterfall. You thought that you were going that way, and then you realize, no, there's actually a hidden path. I'm literally seeing this fox walk up to a tree and like put in a code. Like on the tree. What is that from? The Princess Bride, I think. Don't they go inside the tree? I'm getting that. It's like this fox is going to put in like a code, like 79267, like on the tree, and you're going to go inside this like secret hidden. Tell us about this. Seven of Swords, Daughter of Swords. Show us what this is, because this is the wolf. Hungry like the wolf. Oh, but what I was going to say before about energy vampires, yeah, move slow, because I'm seeing them pulling leeches off of you. Leeches are like water. I was going to say succubuses. For some of you, you might be dealing with like an incubus, succubus thing. And no judgment there with the Ace of Wands. This can be, sexual stuff, right? And you can get attached to an incubus, succubus all by yourself. That's for another day. The moon, yeah. We won't expose anybody, but I'm just saying, it's like, I'm seeing leeches all over you. And me, right? This is an us thing. It doesn't have to be incubus, succubus. I just got that for someone with the Ace of Wands. I saw something with that. With the Seven of Swords, they could be keeping hidden. Somebody could even have Mother of Wands. They could have, like, a problem here, guys. You could be even dating somebody that you ended something with because you know that they have an addiction here. Daughter of Wands, Mother of Wands. For some of you, though, it's like you saw something weird, like they like younger or something. I don't know. So yeah. And that could be, see, this stuff brings up really weird stuff. This stuff brings up really weird stuff. Of course it does. Ace of Cups. But, like, look, this is why we have the rose quartz. Ace of Cups. You're being guided through this. You're not doing this alone. But as you're going off on this side trek, it's kind of like, I didn't think we were doing this today. I didn't think that we were going to work on that. Because for some of you with the Page of Wands, this could be, like, early childhood stuff. Trigger warning. Maybe some of us went through, like, SA. Maybe some of us dealt with domestic V in our homes growing up. Stuff that It's deep down there with the sea serpent that they want you to look right at it, address the elephant in the room. I have a reading called The Elephant in the Room, and we literally like addressed a letter to the elephant to look at it right in the eye instead of turning away from it. That's coming up here. So the elephant reading, I'm holding an elephant in the thumbnail, as well as a recent reading that I just did called You've Been Chosen, ties into this. That elephant reading, that's why I said at the start, some of us are already through this process. Some of us are in the middle of it. I feel like that's the majority. We're in the middle, and some are about to come in. We don't have to be afraid of this. This will change your life. So let's look at it. Daughter of Swords. The Emperor in the reverse. You could have been dealing... I was going to grab it while I was over there. You could have been dealing with... I know I'm referencing more readings here, but I did a reading about a spiritual handler, about escaping a spiritual handler, right? So there's layers to this reading. The Emperor in the reverse is a controlling energy that I'm hearing Machiavellian, which it's part of the dark triad, speaking of. See, it's like upside down again. It's that upside down world. Seeing something from another perspective here. This person could be an aspect of you as well. No judgment here. Look, we're doing the work. I'm proud of everybody. It's the dark triad, right? So Machiavellianism is the ends justify the means. So somebody could have, and I'm not making excuses if you dealt with the situation, somebody could have they could have like, this is such a big topic. Let me just take a minute here. The ends justified the means. Say this is a romantic thing, and they wanted you, and they wanted to keep you. In their minds, they feel like by being extremely controlling, manipulative, secretive, lying for some, even having like a double life for others, they feel like that's the best way to keep you. Right? For others, this is like a lock and key sort of spiritual handler thing where some of you are very talented. You have these spiritual gifts that are coveted. You have skills, you're dancers, you're writers, you're actors, you're singers, and you're connected to a broader collective. I'm seeing something about Taylor Swift. It's like that sort of stuff. It's like you're connected to a broader collective, like I talked about with the thought forms. It's like you're connected to a bigger entity over here that does all that sort of stuff. So therefore, an energy would want to come in and, I'm saying the word siphon, but that's not really this context. This is a sea creature. This is different than an energy vampire. Energy vampirism to me is mentalism. That's air. Vampires to me are mentalism. Right? They use energy manipulation to siphon energy from people. And not all energy vampirism is bad, in my opinion. High Priestess, as we mentioned before. This is what I mean by that. You can take negative energy and transmute it, right? You can use the negative energy that's being sent towards you, or that's just a negative person around you. You can take up that energy and transmute it and turn it into positive energy for yourself. And that's what I meant by there is no wrong direction. Take the risk to go this way, because even if you do go the wrong way, it's like the Cheshire Cat when Alice is like asking him which way to go, and he's like, it doesn't really matter which way you go, right? It's kind of like all roads lead to God sort of a thing. You could take the wrong way on the highway. You could take the wrong exit. Hey, maybe you'll have a nice, maybe you'll find like a cute little shop off the way, a little antique shop, and you go in there and maybe you find, I love antique shops. And you find like a little something, a little memento that ends up marking, someone's name could be Mark, and I'm seeing something about a 7. It could mark something. Oh, we've had 3 7s so far. 777. My 777 readings have to do with this, and they're in the title. You could buy like a memento or something. You get back on the highway, and then later you go through this huge transformation, and you're like, you're happy you have this like little compass. Years ago, at an antique shop, I don't have it anymore because I've moved a lot since then. But I had this little compass, and it was so cool, guys. It was from like the 1800s, and it still worked. Like the little magnet like inside would like move when you moved, and I kept that with me for many years. And it's just interesting. I'm seeing something like that. So even if you get off the wrong exit on the highway, you might have a little, like, we're off path right now. They're saying that's actually weirdly part of the plan for you to be off path. So let's look at this a little more with the Emperor in the reverse. This is part of the work. Tell us about this Emperor in the reverse. We have the Ace of Wands. I didn't want to say this with the 8 of Wands and the Ace of Wands. This could be somebody using energy manipulation to try to control you sexually. 8 of Wands, Ace of Wands, Emperor in the reverse, because they want you. Or they want to keep you. That's what I'm getting. Tower with the 2 of Swords. Oh, 10 of Cups. The World. You could have like closed something off with this person. Tell us more. See, this is moving into the sea serpent stuff, guys. This is where it gets trippy. Just gonna warn you. It's kind of like, have you ever been around have you ever like, hold on. All I can hear is Fleet Foxes. I remember one time I ate a handful of shrooms, right? I was house sitting for somebody. They were on this beautiful land, like just the most gorgeous sunrise of my freaking life, dude. But anyways, it was a crazy experience. But at one point I did have a really bad trip, and I felt like I was descending into hell. Literally. And I'm getting that here. So again, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying, this is the nature. Ask anybody. Ask anybody who's done this deep sea diving. They'll tell you. Have you ever had a bad trip? You know what I mean? I'm seeing somebody tripping and then just standing back up, brushing it off, and you're like totally fine. But this is where it can start to feel trippy, because I'm seeing you moving down this alternative path that you didn't think you were going to go down. It's like a secret path through the tree with the ends. I talk to trees. I don't know about you guys. I always talk to trees. I look right at the tree. When I look at a tree, I start looking at it, and I just start like kind of zoning into it, and I connect with the energy. I immediately see a face emerge. Immediately. Usually they have like a big nose, like a bulbous nose, or they have kind of old looking eyes. And they just stare right at me. Sometimes I'll be like, what do you see? Like, is there anything in my aura, or like, what can you tell me? I talked to a tree the other day. You guys are gonna think I'm crazy. I don't care. I was sitting waiting in the car for a few minutes, and I looked at this tree. I was actually in the middle of a city, believe it or not. And it was a really cute area in the city with like a bunch of shops. And there was like one tree right there, and I just started staring right at it, and I started talking to it. And I said, what's the most interesting thing you've seen? Seeing all these people pass you, because so many people were passing. It was right next to an insomnia cookie place, and there were a bunch of college kids, because it's like a college town, so there was just a bunch of stuff always going on. I said, what's the most interesting thing you've seen with all these people passing you? And I swear to God, the tree said to me, You. Nobody's ever asked me that question before. And I was just like, dude, that's awesome. Oh my god. Anyways. I feel like we're descending with the sea serpent. Yeah, it's like you're going into like a sleep with the Father of Pentacles and the Four of Swords. Like you could start to feel. Remember how I talked about before? It felt like you were like sliding under the ocean and you were like losing your breath. Now I'm seeing it differently. I'm seeing you kind of just peacefully falling asleep. Now, with this lamb here, with the third eye chakra being like lit up, this is going to be through like your visions, dreams, and astral travel. I'm hearing specifically astral travel. You will experience this if you decide after watching this video to go down this road. I'm hearing your guides will take you that way, but you have to like ask for the password, sort of a thing. So, tell us more about this. I feel like we're descending into the sea serpent, like we're leaving the land, Father of Pentacles. We're leaving the land and we're starting to descend. It's the trippy part of the trip. So, yeah, but when I did eat those shrooms, this was years ago, guys. I was listening to like Fleet Foxes. It was so like trippy. It's all like, if you ever listen to Fleet Foxes, it's all like harmonic and they're all like harmonizing and stuff. I felt like a freaking mountain man, just like, yes, as I'm saying that. I was walking back and forth. I was like a preacher. I was just like, I don't even know what I was saying. I just remember pacing back and forth and just like talking about all this deep shit. Ace of Cups. I felt like my heart was being purified. I stayed up the entire night and I sat out on this like swing in the backyard and I watched the sunrise. But I will say this. There was a period of time where I was like, when is this going to end? When is this going to end? Because I was having a bad trip. It was like a trippy part of the trip. And I'm seeing that here for some. Where when you're descending into the sea serpent thing here, you might start to be like, when is this going to end? When is this going to end? This will end. This part of the, I almost said this part of the timeline. This could be a process for you. Remember how I said it's like, it is 3D world as well as like, you know, the more Neptunian stuff here. They'll keep you balanced. We have Libra here with the Justice. I thought for a second those were foxes. They're cats. I had a dream one time about a brown cat, and it was like leading me near my Grammy's, her old house, by the pool. It was like by the gate, and it was like leading me. And in the dream, it was really trippy because I went down back into the house and I started like going through all of this like uncomfortable shadow work stuff. It was coming to the surface, and this brown cat, and you don't really see a brown cat like that. It was like a light brown and it was all brown. I've never seen that before. I don't know what that means, but it led me in there and I started doing the shadow work that was really like kind of trippy, and see all these colors. And then I woke up from the dream and I felt transformed. Same with the shrooms thing. Yes, I was waiting for it to end, but at the same time, I remember just like sitting. It was like the sun was rising. It was like 5 a.m. and I was just watching the sunrise, man. I remember saying to myself, you're never going to be the same. Yeah, Ace of Swords. I gained some sort of clarity that I never knew through that experience, and I don't know how to explain it other than that. Now, I'm not saying that everybody should go out and do like psychedelic drugs. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying I find Two of Cups. Ooh. I find that again, I gotta be careful what I say. sometimes stuff gets stuck and it gets real stuck, and you need you need a lubricant, and it doesn't have to be drug based, guys. I'm just saying. There's experiences even. We can put ourselves in these more kind of like Neptunian situations, like drive to the beach, sit by the waves like at night or something. Don't get arrested. I'm just saying, like, do stuff that it's kind of like more, it's like off the beaten path, like we talked about. Like, you might be led to do stuff that's a little different. I'm just seeing somebody sitting by the waves, and it's like not their typical, and you're gonna see something there. Now, this could all be metaphorical. Now, what's this? Emperor in reverse, Ace of Wands with the Two of Cups. You could be realizing some sort of secret, I'm hearing, with the Seven of Swords. What is this? With the Dragon. See, we're kind of just moving along here. Father of Cups. You thought somebody loved you, or you loved this person. I'm hearing there was something bad about this person with the Tower. It's something shocking. We're at the Dragon now. That sea serpent was the trippy part of the trip, right? So, yeah, Nine of Swords. You saw something from a different perspective with the Hangman. Again, this is Neptune. This is the Neptunian reading. And I've had a lot of experience with this without any substances involved. So, just sitting by myself in my chair like I do every day. That's how I come up with these weird readings for y'all, right? Yeah, see, this is like you're coming out the other side of this path from like the upside down world. And it's like it's starting to turn again. And now you're seeing something clearly from another perspective. You saw something from another perspective when you were with the sea serpent. I hear my cat meowing. Speaking of cats. But yeah, the Dragon with the Nine of Swords. It's like you saw something that you can't unsee, and it's nasty. Or you feel that way. Because look at this card. This is actually one of my favorite Nine of Swords. Because I feel like it really encapsulates. Look at that. That's that weird shit you see in there, huh? Yikes. What's this Nine of Swords? It's something with this controlling energy with the Emperor in the reverse. And the Two of Cups. It's like you partnered with something or someone. And now you're just like, ugh. Can you tell us what that is? And it's different for everybody, of course. Yeah, but of course. A horse? Something about a horse. What is that? Something about a horse, of course. This is some sort of emotional contract I'm hearing with the Four of Wands. Oh, this is what you're seeing. Because I always see, when I turn this sideways, I look at it like an eye, right? And I look at this like an eye. It's like you see the contract. I'm hearing you see the contrast. What do you mean by that? You see the contrast? Daughter of Wands. Guys, remember I started talking about that earlier, and then I was like, oh, I don't want to talk about that. Justice. With the Chariot. Mother of Cups. What's this Daughter of Wands? You can't go back. Once you see these things, you can't unsee them. Hierophant. It's like it has to do with your moral judgments, I'm hearing. You could feel like you got involved with somebody or something. Two of Cups, Four of Wands. That it snuck up on you somehow with the Seven of Swords. They could have presented differently than they really were. They ended up being, like, maybe they even presented themselves with, like, a Hierophant energy. Like, it doesn't have to be religious. Just could be somebody that you're like, I can really talk to this person. This person is morally sound. I'm hearing they're actually morally corrupt. I'm hearing that with the Emperor in the reverse, Three of Swords, and that. I feel like you had that revelation. It broke your heart to think that way, so you kind of went back into the dark. Father of Wands. Again, like I said, this person, they could have like a sex addiction. They could be unfaithful. For some of you, this is a karmic contract. We've talked a lot about this stuff on the channel, guys, so this is nothing new, but we're all, yeah, look, Nine of Wands, and it's a hard road to take. The truth is always the harder road, but it comes out anyway, so you might as well take the path. I'm hearing it's actually the path of least resistance, the devil. See, you would think going this way, down this path, you'd be like, no way am I going towards the devil. That's what I meant with like the sea serpent thing. It feels like a trick. It feels like a trap. Mother of Cups, but it's untangling something in the heart chakra. Mother and Father of Cups, you guys. For a lot of us here, this is like a relationship with the Two of Cups. What is this devil? Yeah, it's like Three of Swords, seeing somebody, or even like an aspect of us that like we thought we were like innocent and pure, but maybe we come to find like, no, like I was actually extremely controlling. I was manipulative. I lied. I maneuvered. I figured out this person's weaknesses and used it against them. No, that's not for everybody. What is this devil with the Daughter of Wands? I'm getting it as the devil has a message for you. So what's the devil's message with the dragon and the devil? What is the devil's message? The Mother of Wands fell right on top of the Ace of Wands with the Judgment. This Emperor in the reverse with the Ace of Wands and the Mother of Wands. They're being judged for some sort of sexual energy. I'm hearing sexual deviancy with the Judgment. Tell us on this. I didn't want to go this direction. You're probably going to feel that way. Yeah, Ace of Swords with the Lovers, guys. It's clear as day. You can't unsee it. And there's that Seven of Cups. You could have been in a Neptunian haze with this person. Could have been a karmic contract for some, and for others it was just some sort of like lover situation that you felt in your intuition like something was off. Yeah, remember how I said at the start the Seven of Swords and the Seven of Cups, and we have both of them here? This person could have presented as like a Father of Pentacles, a Hierophant, you know, someone, yeah, look, it's right here. They could have presented as like peaceful, you know. I don't know why I'm talking like that. It's weird. This energy is a little weird. It's like this person was a confidant, a friend, someone you can confide in. They could have even pretended to be like crow energy, like an ancient kind of like spiritual mentor energy here with the Father of Pentacles, and there was like illusions surrounding them. For some, this was some sort of like hypnotizing like energy with the Four of Swords where you felt like entranced by this person. Two of Pentacles. For some of you, this person has like a double life. Now, if this does not apply, it does not apply. We have the Sun here. Something's being exposed. What is this? Ace of Swords and the Lovers. It's your choice to see this clearly or not. Eight of Wands with the World. You can end this, I'm hearing. We have the Judgment and we have the World. What do they have to do here? Ace of Cups. And it fell right on top of the Daughter of Swords with the Sea Serpent and the Ace of Cups. There's something here that led you to this person. That was like an unhealed wound, and that's how you got like tied up with whatever this is. This person could be a man, they could be a woman, they could be however they identify, they could be a family member, they could be a colleague, I'm hearing. They could be Three of Cups, they could be a friend, they could be part of your community, they could be a sibling, they could be a parent. It's a parent who this person is. Mother of Pentacles with the Father of Pentacles, some of you were in a relationship with this person. The World and the Moon just fell out in the reverse with the Five of Wands. They don't want this out, but it's seen clearly. They don't want you to end something. Why? Six of Wands, because they want to win. That's all this is. They want to win. This isn't about love. This isn't about charity, I'm hearing, with the Hierophant. For some of you, this is like a spiritual leader or something, that something's coming out about them. Oh boy. What is this? Like, what is the collective, with the dragon, what does the collective need to know? Because this is like the devil's message with the dragon and the devil. Well, it's the underworld message. Three of Cups. They want me to talk about this Three of Cups with the Hierophant. For some, this is like a leader with a community. They're saying take the Hierophant. With the Two of Pentacles, this person has like a double life thing. Yeah, Five of Wands coming out. They're fighting this with everything in their being. For some of you, they may make like a public apology, or they may apologize to you. It's different for everybody what this is, but it's the same energy. We have the Chariot with the Mother of Cups here. For some, this is a family member. For some, this is like your mother, or it's like you find out some weird secret and your mother like becomes single with the Nine of Pentacles. or this is like your sister or something. Maybe this isn't directly you. Like, weird family secrets and stuff can come out when you do this work. That's what I'm trying to explain. It's like you might think you're going in there to do your own shadow work. This is a lone journey, and yes, it is. But this is what happens. It stirs the water. The sea serpent, it stirs the water. And then all the people you're connected to, their water starts to get stirred. And like this stuff comes out. And it's for healing. It's for the greater good. It's not to expose these people and blah, blah, blah. It's Mother of Cups with the Chariot. Ace of Cups. You love this person. Let me just clean this up a little bit. I just feel like there's more, so I'm just gonna roll with it for a few more minutes here. Let the sea serpent do their work. What do you want to say to the collective, please? I'm gonna use another deck. Use these little ones. Yeah, look, High Priestess. This is all High Priestess approved. With the moon. The work we do here is for the greater good. It's not the ends justify the means. That's different. That's control. For the greater good means we guide. Yeah, I was just going to say it's an Aquarius energy, and I just opened up to the star. So yeah, it's Aquarius Pisces with the Judgment. Judgment, we help to bring judgment through the pipe by shining awareness in the darkness with the stars, right? And there's galactic teams at play. So, devil, what does the devil want to say? The devil knows what and who are in the darkness. The devil's not bad, guys. The devil is... well, it's nothing to be afraid of with the High Priestess. Eight of Swords. And it fell right on top of the Seven of Swords. Somebody's going to try to squirm out of this. But something's coming to light. We have the Hierophant, guys. Four of Wands. This could be somebody you're married to, even. Why do you keep showing this Hierophant? That's my question. I'm hearing because there's something unthinkable here. Like this person or situation or something, it's like, it's unthinkable. Yeah, Father of Swords, or King of Swords in this deck. This person could be a Gemini or you, or have that in their chart. We also have Taurus, we have Capricorn, Aries, Cancer. I watched a documentary on the Seventh Heaven guy, the dad. I used to watch that show all the time when I was younger. And I forgot what the name of the show is. It's like the dark side of... It's on like Child Stars and stuff like that. It's a really good show. We have Gemini and Aquarius here. So basically the Seventh Heaven dad, right? He plays a minister on the show. And this documentary that I watched was talking about, and this came up earlier in the reading, and I was trying to stay away from it. Daughter of Wands. It's about like young kids, right? With the Hierophant right next to that. See, some of us are doing this spiritual work on ourselves, and it's like exposing other stuff around us, and we're like, what the hell? Because your energy, this energy work that you're doing just on yourself, it's affecting things. It's... Yeah, tell us, King of Swords, it's almost like it alerts the authorities or something like that here. And there's others involved. See, we have like the Queen of Wands. Like this could even be like the wife of the person. Like if you're not the direct like wife or girlfriend or family member to this person, it's like, because this could be somebody in the collective, but our work that we're doing, it can like expose other shit. But we're all connected to this stuff. Like whether we realize it or not, we are affected by it. So... But it doesn't have to be this. But they're showing me this for a reason. Why are you showing me the Hierophant with the King of Swords? I'm getting that this person has like a grace period to come forward. And they're like, I'm seeing them hiding their head in the stand like an ostrich. Can you tell us more on this? This person has a little bit of a grace period, Tower, before like their life gets blown up here. We have the Hermit coming out. And it fell right on top of the Emperor in the reverse. For some here, yeah, I was just going to say that. This person uses energy manipulation with the Magician. Judgment. That's being judged. This person's like a dark magician. Again, this has angles. It's not just as straightforward as this. And look up the Seventh Heaven guy if you don't know what I'm talking about. I can't say much about that sort of thing on YouTube without... creating issues, but it, you know, it's children and it's an older man. That's really all you need to know, right? And it's shocking because, you know, he plays a pastor on the show. But okay, let me move past that because this is another angle, right? This person is coming through as like a spiritual handler energy. They could posture themselves. They could be a Virgo. They posture themselves, and I'm sorry for that because I'm a Virgo, and this is the thing, though. You know, Virgo energy, same with, like, Gemini and stuff. And, like, you know, like, if you look up, like, the top murderers, this is just an example. If you look up, like, the top murderers, like, what signs are they? Sort of a thing. Like, you know, Virgo energy can be used for good, but it can also be used to control people. Because we pick up every little detail. I said that earlier in the reading, my left ear's ringing. Something about noticing things, noticing your weaknesses and using them against you. Now, what is this here? They're saying take the Magician. This person could have sent you, like, loving messages. I'm seeing something about, like, text messages being looked into here. And texts in the astral can mean something, different. They could have, like, sent you sexual energy And that can come through as like a spiritual text message. Like, especially if you are like a high priestess, you're super spiritual, you pick up subtle energy differences. You could even like see stuff into your third eye. Like, this person could have been, I'm seeing them like jacking off, guys. I'm sorry. And this is unwanted. This is not like some guy you're interested in and you're like, well, this is not that, guys. This ain't that, honey. This is for some of you, this is a weird older man. I'm hearing something about nonchalant, and we have Aquarius as I'm saying that. What's going on with this? Knight of Pentacles. There's some sort of like long-term plan here. I'm hearing to capture you. Two of Swords in the reverse, but you caught on to this. Ace of Cups. You're like, this person doesn't love me. They want to use me. I'm getting that. Anything else? Aquarius coming out with the Star. I'm getting you're protected. See, this person could have like shown themselves a certain way. And this has layers, guys. It's not all one thing. For some, this is like a mentor. For some, this is like a family member. For some, this is like your siblings, like husband or boyfriend or something. For some, this is like, and you're going to see all of this in the Neptune haze that we talked about. For some, this is like a freaking business partner. I think I said colleague earlier. The Fool. You're fine. I saw the High Priestess, but she went back into the deck. It's like, yeah, you just disappeared. You could have even like left the situation, or you're gonna feel guided to. And you'll know, guys, because for some of us here, this whole message, this is all just like kind of trippy stuff coming up when we're doing spiritual work. You could start to like tap into some darker energies here. They're saying just move through it. It's just like a bad trip. Like, you'll come out of this and you'll move through this. Like, for some, yeah, with the Devil, this is just, it's kind of like going through the fear gate. Like, you're moving down like the dark path, the valley of the shadow of death. I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life, and I'll dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. I think I'm going to end that. For some of you, this is a person, a direct person. For others of you, this is, again, it's more of like a thought form. It's more of a concept that you involved yourself in, right? That you didn't know it was connecting you to karmic energies. I'm hearing, if I knew that, I never would have gotten involved. Like, I'm seeing something like you dating a guy, and then like his brother, you see like on the news, they turn out to be like a P word. Like, you see something weird and like the nephew or something. I don't know, guys. And you're thinking over it. You're like, oh, how could I date someone who has a brother that did that to the nephew? It's like, no, guys, it's not. That's what I'm trying to say here. For some of us, it's a couple steps removed, whatever this is. For some, and this is others, it's like you're doing this work, and it is exposing stuff, like, just by you moving this energy. It's like you could find like something happens in your town, or even on a bigger scale. Like, a lot of people are doing shadow work and stuff right now, and it's like we see these exposures on the planet. It's like you see this stuff coming to light, like from the past, that these people thought were hidden. It's like nobody's getting away with anything. I'm seeing something about Epstein. Nobody is getting out of that. I'm hearing something about receipts. I did a reading with receipts, talking about receipts. Seeing something about P. Diddy. It's like everybody, we're gathering everybody's names. It's that sort of a thing. So this could be bigger as well, but for some here, I'm getting specifically something about like a spiritual handler that like controlled you all these years. It's a spiritual entity that you felt was like always watching you since you were a kid. It's going to be broken through this process. For others, it's like monitoring spirit stuff. This is all spiritual. But for some here, you were like in a relationship with somebody, or there was some sort of like contract that makes you feel like disturbed or disgusted. Somebody could have even like projected this towards you. I'm seeing something about like signing a contract while you were like under the influence. This could be metaphorical. It's like you could have like agreed to something spiritually and thought, because this person presented themselves as an emperor, you could have been like, oh my God, like, this is my divine path. This is my, like, divine person. And then they end up being, like, super controlling. And then you, like, pull out of it and they keep, like, sending you this energy. And you're saying, no, 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 stop, stop. I'm not interested. And they keep doing it and doing it and doing it. I'm not trying to trigger people. I'm just saying, I'm seeing a lot of, like, people don't talk about this enough. There is such a thing as like spiritual R word. Like you can infringe upon people's boundaries spiritually, energetically. Just because you can't go to prison for it in the 3D world, you can't go to the cops and be like, somebody's, and I feel, they're going to be like, honey, like that's not a thing. You know what I mean? But for some of you, this is like a dark magician. And they, like, get off on the fact that you're saying no. Okay? So I'm going to leave that there. Yeah, Queen of Wands. Some of you are very attractive. And some of you, I'm hearing something about, like, and I want the sister, too. It's like, yeah, Justice. Guys, it'll be fine. This whole thing will be fine. This is the side information. Focus on your journey, but this sort of stuff can be coming up while you're going through it. I'm just feeling a feeling of disturbed. Disturbia. I think that's by Rihanna. Yeah, and this is how you cut the cord, is you have to go through, you have to make the choice to like go through the valley of the shadow of death here. Yeah. It's like Two of Swords, don't want to see it. Justice will be served, though, if you gain this information and, like, give it up to them. Like, that's how you get out of this. This is the loophole in this contract. That's what I'm getting. There's something about this that when you go through this, like, Leviathan process, you will have receipts. Spiritual receipts for a lot of people that then can be given. We had the King of Swords before, but I put him back. It's like a lawyer energy. You can give these receipts to the angelic realm, the upper world. It's like you're going into the underworld to get the receipts. And then you're coming through the other side. Remember how I talked about like this to this? The underworld is who has the information, right? You come out the other side with the receipts and you give it to the upper world that handles this sort of stuff. Like, that's their jurisdiction. Yeah, judgment. That's what they will use to judge the situation. Because it will be, like, tangible energy. Like, your energy. It's almost like they're taking a sample. I'm seeing like a syringe. They're taking like a sample of your raw energy from going through this that they can use as like DNA, saliva proof, so to speak, of this situation. Page of Wands. This could even heal something inside of you of like an inner child wound. There's something here about a dark magician, guys. So you could have been dealing with these heavier energies since you were a kid even. Not for everybody, but yeah. So I'm going to end on that. I know this was like a heavier one. I knew it was going to be when I started talking about Leviathan, right? That's the deep sea creature. And this is that deep sea good. You know what I'm saying? Can't buy that stuff at the dispensary. So anyways, I love you guys. Just gonna add a little rose quartz to just, yeah. I don't know how this whole thing's gonna work. They just tell me to give the messages, and then they're just showing basically like submitting to this process, and then you moving through it over time. Because for some of us, the reason why they're having me give this message is because you're already in the middle of it. For most of us, we're in the middle of it, right? All right. So I love you guys. It's been Missy Gordon, the Metamystic here. Thank you all for being here. I love each and every one of you. I want to thank everybody who donates and supports the show. Thank you so much. For those of you who want to book personal readings, info is down below. And remember, you can always listen to this show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. EST, as well as on my YouTube channel at The Metamystic. Much love, everybody, and I'll see you on the next one.